What's up, everyone? It's Brand the Mortgage Man here, and I've helped over 10,000 home buyers over my 22 plus year career in mortgages, and today I'm going to help you. Did you know that you can actually purchase a primary residence, meaning a home that you're going to live in year round, and an investment property at the same exact time? And by buying the investment property and primary residence at the same time, you may actually be saving money versus buying just a primary residence for yourself. Well, let me show you how this works. First, what we're going to do is we're going to look at purchasing a single family home as a primary residence. And we're going to look at buying that property for $400,000. We're going to say $400,000 property, and we're going to say it's over 30 years at a rate of 7%. So let's do the math on this real quick. So we're going 400,000, 30 years, 7% interest. So we're going to say the principal and interest payment on that is $2,661.21. Principal and interest. Now, this is, sorry, I just want to apologize about something. We're going to do it's a $500,000 property. You're borrowing $400,000. So on $400,000, you'll get $2,661.21. Now, you're going to pay insurance on this property. Let's say that's $300 a month. You're going to pay property taxes on this property. And we'll say the property taxes are $600 per month, right? So altogether, you're looking at $3,561.21, principal, interest, tax, and insurance. Now, you may say, okay, I'm good with that, but I don't have 20% to put down. Okay, that's common. Well, you can do the same scenario and you can put down 5%. So let's do a comparison. So this is a primary single family home with 20% down. Now let's compare that to a single family home with 5% down and see what we're looking at. So let's do the same house, $500,000 purchase price. If you're putting down 5%, that means you're putting down $25,000. That means your loan amount's $475,000. We'll do the same 30 years. The rate will be a little bit better. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that when you put down less than 20%, you actually can save money on the cost of the interest rate. So in this case, let's say it saves you 1/8% on the interest rate. Let's figure out our principal and interest payment on this. $3,120.41 for principal and interest. The insurance would be the same regardless of what your loan amount is. The taxes will be the same regardless of what your loan amount is. But the difference is going to be that you're going to have mortgage insurance, right? Because you're putting less than 20% down. So if you've watched all of my other videos, or at least some of my other videos, you know that mortgage insurance is required on a conventional mortgage, which is what we're showing you here, when you're putting less than 20% down. So let's just say in this scenario you have good credit. So we're going to figure out the cost of your mortgage insurance. So let's just say mortgage insurance in this scenario, I'm just going to round to the nearest whole number, is $317 per month. So now we have $3,120.41 plus $900 for taxes and insurance, plus $317 for mortgage insurance. So you're looking at a payment of $4,337.41. Now, obviously it's going to be higher because you're borrowing more money, plus you have mortgage insurance. So you may say, man, I really want to buy a place. Everything I like is in the $500,000 price range, but I really prefer a payment closer to the payment I would receive if I had 20% to put down. But like we said, very few people, or not everyone, has 20% to put down on a property, and we understand that completely. To go back to what I said in the beginning of this video, you can purchase a primary residence, meaning you're going to live in the property, and an investment property at the same time. But what I didn't tell you is you're actually not buying two separate properties. What you're going to do is you're going to buy a multifamily property, meaning you live in one unit and you rent out the others. Now, for residential financing, what you'll be looking at, you can borrow up to 4 units. So a fourplex or quadplex, as it might be called. And that's how this is going to work. So let me show you how this works. So let's just say you're going to buy a fourplex. Well, if you're going to live in one of the units, you can actually do this with 5% down, which you said you have. So let's just say you decide to look at something that is a little more expensive because maybe you can't find a fourplex in the area where you want to live that's $500,000, right? So that might be unrealistic. So let's just say that if you're going to look at a fourplex, you have to bump up your purchase price to $700,000. And you're putting down 5%, right? So 5% on that is $35,000, which means that your loan amount is $665,000. No, we're going to say 30 years. Let's just say the interest rates, back up at 7% because there's an adjustment for it being a multifamily property. So your principal and interest on a $665,000 loan is $4,424.26. Now, insurance is going to be more expensive because it's a more expensive property. Let's call that $450 per month. Taxes will also be more expensive because it's a more expensive property. Let's be realistic. We'll call that $900 a month. And then you're also going to have mortgage insurance. Let's do the calculation on that. Say your mortgage insurance is $444 per month. So now let's add all this up. $6,218.26. That's your total payment. So now you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, okay, I literally just said that I can't afford $4,337. I prefer a payment of $3,500, and you're showing me a payment of $6,218? How does that even make sense? And I can understand where you might be coming from on that. But like I said, this is a fourplex. You're only going to live in one of the units, which means you have 3 units that are vacant. So what you're going to do is you're going to rent those 3 units out. So let's just say that market rent is $1,200 per unit. That means you have 3 units times $1,200, which equals $3,600. This is how much you would collect in rent from those 3 units every single month. So now what you do is you take your $6,218.26 and you subtract what you're going to be collecting in rent from that payment. So we take $6,218.26 minus $3,600, leaves us with $2,618.26. This is your net mortgage payment. So if you told me, hey Brandon, I'm way more comfortable with a $3,500 payment, $4,337 is too high. Well, looks like if you purchase a fourplex and you follow my strategy right here, I'm actually going to over deliver. You told me you're good at $3,500. I give you a $2,600 payment, which is $900 less than where you told me you're comfortable. So if you use a strategy, you can actually purchase a primary residence, right? You're living in one of the units. It's also an investment property because you're renting out 3 of the units. It's more expensive than the other property you would have purchased if you were to buy a primary residence alone, which means that at an annual appreciation minimum of 5%, you're earning more equity every single year you own this property. And eventually, you can move out of the unit that you're living in, rent that out as well, and offset even more of your monthly payment on the property. So if you're looking for a way to make money while living in your primary residence and becoming an investor at the same time you purchase your first home, make sure you check out a multifamily property and Fannie Mae's conventional 5% down for that property. If you want more information like what you've seen in this video, please subscribe to Brand the Mortgage Man and comment below if you have questions about your own scenario. I reply to 100% of the comments left on my videos, and I may even answer your question in another video.